Hello there, South Mississippi, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams, and on this Alert Day Wednesday, we've been dealing with heavy rain and flooding across our area, flooding risk across our area. And what we'll talk about today is how much rain we've seen and some of the impacts that some places are facing. I'm sure there's some street flooding in some neighborhoods, but unfortunately, there's also river flooding. So I know we have some river residents, people that live along some of our local rivers, and there could be some impacts. We'll teach you how to find that river flooding information so that you can keep you and your family safe. And then we'll take a look at the forecast for the rest of the day, which looks pretty wet, and into the rest of the week, which also will feature some high rain chances too. So let's get started. First of all, here's a look outside in Biloxi. You can see that we are looking at a cloudy sky there on our Borvage cam. We're also looking at the IP Casino Resort and Spa cam. Looking pretty cloudy there. Might have some lighter rain in that area. Let's take a look at the Champion Jeep Ram cam. This one's pretty close to ground level, so let's get a closer look at it. See if we can see any raindrops falling. It's kind of hard to tell, but I do think there is some rain in that particular view. Let's head on over to Highway 90 and Highway 49 in Gulfport. Looks like still some raindrops on the cam lens there with cloudy sky. And then heading over to the Silver Slipper in Hancock County. Whoa, must be pretty breezy. Check out those white caps near the coast of Hancock County. You've got a lot of white caps showing up there. So a lot of breezy winds along the coast, and probably have seen some recent rain showers there. Look at the first alert radar, and there are some rain showers across the area this morning. The majority of them are happening along our coastal counties, Hancock, Harrison, and Jackson counties. So that's where we're seeing the majority of the rain during the 8 o'clock hour Wednesday morning, and there can be more rain on the way. But before we get to the forecast, we do want to talk about how much rain we've seen. Now, I have not updated these totals since earlier this morning. At 7 in the morning. So we'll take a look at what the latest information shows as of 7 a.m. this morning and get into some of these numbers. But as you can see, plenty of areas in the red, meaning many of us have seen more than 2 inches of rain. So let's take a look at Pearl River County. We're probably looking at 4 to 7 inches of rain since Tuesday. So that's a pretty extreme amount. And unfortunately, this has triggered river flood warnings in Pearl River County this morning. Hancock County has also seen an extreme amount of rain near areas near the Kill and to the north of the Kill, 4 to 8 inches of rain. So this has also triggered some river flood warnings for parts of Hancock County as well. Meanwhile, down closer to Bay St. Louis, Waveland, the rain amounts are about 1 to 3 inches as of 7 a.m. today. Harrison County, near Pass Christian, maybe near DeLille, 1 to 3 inches of rain. But for the rest of the county, whether it's Pass Christian, Long Beach, Gulfport, Biloxi, those amounts are about 2 to 4 and might have some slightly higher totals near Dido, Lizana, Saussure, maybe up to about 5 inches in that neck of the woods. As we take a look at Stone County, 3 to 5 inches of rain as of 7 a.m. near Perkinston, 4 to 6 inches of rain closer to Wiggins and Big Level. George County looking at 2 to 5 inches of rain since Tuesday across most of their county, maybe slightly lower amounts closer to Agricola. And there's Jackson County. Some of the highest numbers in Jackson County near LaRue, near the Jackson-Harrison County line. You can also see 2 to 4 inches of rain near Ocean Springs, St. Martin, and near parts of Gaucher, Moss Point, and Pascagoula. And then a little swath of 1 to 3 inches of rain closer to Hickory Hills, parts of Van Cleve, and parts of Big Point and Hurley. So with that being said, we take a look at the river flood warnings. And if you are a river resident, we've got more rivers than what you're looking at here, but I've got good news, because if you don't see your river, that is good news. That means you are not under a river flood warning. There are other rivers like the Chuticabuff near D'Iberville, the Biloxi River near Lyman, the Wolf River above Bells Ferry in the Gulfport area. No flood warning for those as of 8 a.m. Wednesday. But the rivers that do have a flood warning, you're looking at them, they're highlighted in green. the Bowley Creeks in Pearl River County, and the Pearl River, which runs along the edge of Pearl River County and Hancock County. Now you might be wondering, okay, I'm a river resident, there's a flood warning, what does that mean? And you can see exactly what that means with the help of the WLOX weather app or our WLOX.com website. Let me show you how you can do that. It's very simple, just a couple of steps. So step one, you pop up our website, WLOX.com. Step two, you search for this story called South Mississippi River Flooding Forecast. Right now it's on the front page, not too far down. If you can't seem to find it there, you can also come into this news tab right here and scroll down the list of stories in the news tab, and you may be able to find it there as well. Here's what happens when we scroll down the news tab. I'm not really seeing it there, but for now, if you use the home page, you can see it right there. So you click that, it opens up South Mississippi River Flooding Forecast. And there it is. Every river you could ever imagine in South Mississippi, every one of them has a clickable forecast with tons of details, real-time information. And the ones we're talking about are in Pearl River County. It's going to be the Bowley Creeks. That's the West Hobolachitto Creek and the East Hobolachitto Creek. We will take a look at the West Hobolachitto Creek, and we can see that there is a 17.5-foot crest expected, and that would be by tomorrow afternoon. The river currently is sitting at 13 feet. And you see this little tiny box up here. It tells you flood stage begins at 15. So it's not flooding yet, but once it hits 15, it will be flooding, and it's going to go 2.5 feet above flood stage. That's going to cause some minor impacts. What are those impacts? Well, the National Weather Service tells you in this area titled Flood Impacts. You simply click More Flood Impacts. You can see a 17-foot crest will cause roads to be threatened and some homes to be threatened as well near Picayune, Mississippi. School bus traffic may need to find alternate routes, etc. So just keep that in mind today and tomorrow. Maybe school buses need to find an alternate route near parts of Pearl River County near the West Bowley Creek. We can also go back and take a look at the East Hobolachitto Creek. That one is currently at 6 feet and is expected to rise to a crest of 16 feet. So that's a 10-foot rise in the next 24 hours. A very fast rise on the East Bowley Creek. If it gets to 16 feet, it says that water will be over a few roads in Picayune, causing traffic problems. School buses may need alternate routes, etc. If it gets to 17 feet, which is not forecast to, but it's close. If it gets to 17 feet, water could be in the garages of several homes between Highway 43 and Beach Street Bridge. So keep that in mind. Again, very handy tool for those local rivers right on our website, WLOX.com. You can also find a link to the rivers by opening the WLOX First Alert weather app. So as we get to the rest of the forecast heading into today and tomorrow and the day after that, a flood watch continues. We are under a flood watch until Thursday based on the latest information. Let me double check just to make sure there's been no last minute change. That's to Thursday at 7 p.m. for the coast, and it's to Thursday at 6 p.m. for the inland areas. So no changes last minute, still to Thursday. But I wonder, will they extend this to Friday? Because I do think we are going to see additional rounds of rain each day for the rest of this week. As far as the First Alert weather team is concerned, we do have that alert day for today because we are still seeing some rain this morning, and that's hot on the heels of the very heavy rain that we saw last night. So it could be overwhelming some of the soils in the area, getting them soaked and saturated. And that's why I think some roads are going to be flooded this morning as you're driving across parts of South Mississippi. The reason for the rain, a stalled front nearby, is a triggering mechanism for new showers to continue to develop across the Gulf Coast region. So we will see this pattern continuing. And as we take a look at what's happening now, look at this over the coast of Louisiana and Texas, seeing a new storm cluster. Will this one scoot over toward the Mississippi coast, or will it kind of take a little bit more of a southeast trajectory? We'll have to see. We'll have to watch and see. It depends on exactly where that front winds up. Wherever the front is located will determine exactly where the heaviest rain will exist. But this morning we continue with that 80 to 90% chance for rain. Take a look at this afternoon. The chance for rain remains at 80 to 90% in the early part of the afternoon. But by the late afternoon, maybe we could begin to see some of a decrease in some spots, about a 70 to 80% chance by 4 p.m. And then finally, by 7 p.m., seeing a significant decrease in the rain chance for most of us, down to 50%. So this rainy pattern with flooding possible continues for, I think, the rest of the week. This morning, we're still seeing rain continuing. Beware of flooded roads. This afternoon, I think the rain lingers into the afternoon, but at some point by this evening, it could decrease. And then, as we head into tonight and Thursday and Friday, we could continue to see rounds of new rain showers developing right on top of us or developing nearby. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. We expect to see a decrease in the rain potential by the weekend, but it's not going to be completely dry. We do see some scattered showers possible on Saturday, and there could be some hit or miss showers possible on Mother's Day Sunday as well. Well, thank you so much for tuning in for this edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video.